It's been 5 years and the Geekcast Radio Network would like to give back to you. How, you may ask? Well, first of all, we're coming up with a brand new website to be launched June 1st, 2014. In addition to that, there'll be many new features for interactive abilities. So how do you enter into this magical celebration? Well, Geekcast Radio has a contest where you can win some awesome prizes, ranging from comics, Blu-rays, DVDs, trade paperbacks, and comics, and more. How do you enter? Write in your favorite stories of how the Geekcast Radio Network has affected you in the last 5 years, and how it's unleashed the geek in you. You can also enter by writing reviews on our shows on iTunes. For more information, visit www.geekcastradio.com and click on the banner. So until next time, unleash the geek in you. Welcome to The Pull Bag. Join us as we dig out our latest comics and discuss them with a rotating panel of the GCRN crew. So sit back and enjoy this week's Pull Bag.
Hello and welcome to The Pull Bag. This is episode 72. We are continuing on with the 75 years of Batman Spotlight. 10 podcast episodes in 1 month. Yep, that's right, folks. Alright, tonight I am joined by Steve Megatron. Hello, sir.
Oh, yes.
I am, of course, your host, TFG1Mike, and tonight we're going to be talking about a very, very epic story done by Alan Moore. And who else? It's kind of sad that I don't even remember. Alan Moore and Brian Boland. It is called The Killing Joke. One bad day. According to the grinning engine of madness and the mayhem known as the Joker, that's all that separates the sane from the psychotic. Freed once again from the confines of Arkham Asylum, he is out to prove his deranged point, and he is going to use Gotham City's top cop, Commissioner Jim Gordon, and his brilliant and beautiful daughter Barbara to do it. Now Batman must race to stop his arch-nemesis before the Reign of Terror claims 2 of the Dark Knight's closest friends. Can he finally put an end to the cycle of bloodlust and lunacy that links these two iconic foes, for it leads to its fatal conclusion? And as the horrifying origin of the Clown Prince of Crime is finally revealed, will the thin line that separates Batman's nobility and the Joker's insanity snap once and for all? Legendary writer Alan Moore redefined the superhero with Watchmen and V for Vendetta. In Batman the Killing Joke, he takes on the origin of comics' greatest supervillain, the Joker, and changes Batman's world forever. Now, I've heard about this story for years, ladies and gentlemen. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, good. I've heard about this story for years, ladies and gentlemen. I have never had the privilege to read it until now, and I have to thank GCRN superfan listener Mike Carvalho for actually sending me his copy of the hardcover deluxe edition of the book. I will say that the cover is very iconic. It is basically the Joker with a camera and his little top hat, and it says "Smile." Now, on the inside of the hardcover, some really awesome designs. On the front, it is black and purple, with Batman and the Joker being purple, a black background, and ha 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 all over it, with black outlines. On the back of the book, if you remove the slipcover, there is a playing card where you see the Joker and Batman on equal sides, like you would see like a face card, basically. But the Joker is on one end and Batman is on the other. The reason why I bring up the back of the book in the hardcover edition is because the New 52, Batgirl number 15, actually kind of replays this image, where the cover of that issue was, at the time during the death of the family storyline, the Joker was going to marry Batgirl. And you see her in a wedding veil, and you see him in kind of like a groomsman kind of design, but it has that whole card motif. I absolutely love when they do this. This is one of the best images I've ever seen on as a comic cover. Very, very, very cool. So, all right, when did you first read The Killing Joke?
I had never read it.
Really?
Yes. Well, the thing was, is I could never get my hand on a legit copy. And mind you, I still don't have a legit copy, but I would like one. No, because I mean, I would, for being such an iconic story like this, it's one of those ones that I know you have to own. It's like The Dark Knight Returns, but for the Joker.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this was just an amazing, amazing read. I have like this might be my favorite story out of all the stuff we've covered, all the classic Batman stories we've covered so far in the Batman spotlight here in the pull bag. This might be my favorite out of all of them altogether. Um, it's absolutely brilliant. The trade opens where you see the Joker's eyes. It's just a black background, and it's the Joker's eyes. You don't see his smile. You don't see anything else. The cover, the inside where the information is, you see the Joker holding his hands to his head, and he's just crazy and deranged. And you see Commissioner Gordon's forehead in the bottom left-hand corner. There is an introduction here by Tim Sale. That was a really interesting introduction. And then we open up to the story where it's Batman coming into Arkham. He passes Harvey Dent. He passes Name Unknown. Don't get me wrong, folks. I get it. Tim Burton had to give Jack Nicholson Joker a name because most mainstream audiences wouldn't get why he doesn't have a name. But Name Unknown is how you're supposed to do it. And Batman is coming to see the Joker. And at first, when I first read this, I thought it was going to be the darker Batman, and it kind of is a little bit. It's not blue and yellow; it's blue, gray, and black. So that's nice. So he goes to see the Joker, and they're basically, Batman's basically saying, "I don't fully understand why ours should be such a fatal relationship, but I don't want your murder on my hands." And Batman has some white stuff on his hands, and come to find out, it's not the Joker. It's a lookalike that he dressed up as himself. So the Joker has escaped. What do you think of the art in this?
Actually, not that bad. I like the attention to some of the detail. I mean, it's still got that 80s style to it, but you can see the creases in Batman's eyes when he's squinting, and you can see the detail of the teeth and the pupils and the eyes of the fake Joker, and the headlines, and it's just the attention to detail is all there.
Mm. What do you think of the Joker design in this one?
It's a bit strange.
It's a bit strange.
It's well, I mean, it's hard to go back and look at this look of the Joker because I'm used to the animated stuff. I'm used to the modern. Granted, I'm not thrilled with the concept of him ripping his face off
Right.
later on, but I mean, it's not that bad. I've seen worse ones since this time era.
Mm.
So they could do a lot worse.
I love it. I think it's it's a very round, like Joker in Batman the Animated Series. He's kind of got that pointy nose and pointy chin, so I think this is more of a rounded way to show that type of his design. I like it a lot. I think it really shows off one of the best versions of Joker ever that we've ever had. I would say this, the DC Animated Universe version, all different versions of the Joker from DC Animated Universe, and then Death of the Family Joker are my three top favorites. Um, but in this, we get the origin of the Joker, and it is such amazing storytelling.
Yeah.
What did you think of his origin story here?
It's kind of interesting. I mean, you never really get to see some of the craziness that goes through his head.
Right. Yeah, because it starts off before we get to the flashback. It starts off. Uh, you really want to buy it, and the price I mentioned isn't too steep. Too steep, my dear sir. As I look at it, I'm making a killing, and anyway, money isn't really a problem. Not these days. And then it goes back into the origin, and we see that he was, originally just a regular old kind of guy. Had a wife who was pregnant. Um, I really, really like, because to me, the Joker is someone who got his face bleached in acid. I'm not saying he needs to have a name or not. That's just what I know of his origin. Um, and seeing it here and seeing how it's told here is very, very awesome. What did you think of the trick that he plays on the guy who he's trying to who wants to sell him the amusement park?
I almost couldn't. I almost didn't see it coming, but I come to expect it, especially around this time. Even though it's not the joy buzzer, it's the
Needle.
yeah, it's the needle poisoning the guy instead, giving him the crazy Joker grin. So I saw it coming, and it's funny, but it's I mean it's predictable of the Joker. I mean back then it probably wasn't, but
See, this is the thing. Like, I haven't, outside of Death of the Family, and outside of like Batman Under the Red Hood, I haven't seen a lot of Joker stuff recently. I still have yet to see Dark Knight Returns Part 2. I know I need to see that, and that's on me. I need to watch that thing, but so Bruce goes back to the cave and he talks to Alfred. And it's interesting to see, and this is what I like about this. This is kind of what I was expecting some of the other Batman stories that I've read to be. I wasn't really expecting the blue and gray so much, and he kind of, I mean, the blue is almost black when you see him with Alfred in the cave, at least the cape anyway.
well, it's the colors from the TV.
Yeah, it's the way the colors are being done. Um, so we then go to
Well, I love how Bruce here in the cave
mm-hmm.
is so bothered
Yeah.
by the fact that he doesn't know who the Joker is. And then he says, "How can two people hate so much without knowing each other?" And
Mm-hmm.
Alfred's just kind of wandering away like, "I don't know."
Mm-hmm. And then we go to the house of Barbara and Commissioner James Gordon. And, just one bad night can change a person.
Well, did you see the article that's in the beginning of Gordon's scrapbook?
Yeah.
It the image is the first original image of Batman on the very first issue of Detective Comics that had Batman in it.
No, Detective 27.
Yeah. Says, hey, look at this one. First time they met. Now, what year was that?
Yeah. And this is the storyline where Barbara isn't she a librarian in this?
I think
Or
so.
just yeah. Um, and she this is this is really what bothers me about sometimes women or children answering a door. This is the exact thing that bothers me because you never know who's going to be behind that door, and
Yeah.
you know, um, any parent that would send their kid to open their door, open their home door or their apartment door or whatever for somebody, that's just a coward or just lazy. Um, that's just my personal opinion. So Barbara goes to the door and it's the Joker, and he shoots her. Now, at this point, was she Batgirl?
I don't know.
Because, like, I'm not asking this just because I'm ignorant about some of the older comics. I'm asking this because it doesn't actively say anything before she gets shot of whether she's Batgirl or not. Um, so she's lying there, and she goes, why are you doing this to prove a point? Here's to crime. Um, and then after that, we basically have more of the Joker's origin, um, where he was kind of the fall guy. They
Yeah.
basically they basically put him in the Red Hood suit, with the giant hood, and he turns into the fall guy for them. Very, very, again, interesting stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny because stupidly he does it.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
they're like, they'll never know who you are. And
Yeah. Um, Now, how long, like, for this story, we know that the Red Hood doesn't last too long, but were there ever moments of, like, in Batman comics where the Joker, the guy that was supposed to turn into the Joker, was he ever Red Hood longer than what this portrays?
I'm not sure.
So we go back to the hospital where Barbara was shot. She says, Bruce, it was him. He took Dad. Oh God, I remember. Oh, Bruce, what he did. So she must have been Batgirl already. If she know, because she's calling him Bruce, and he's Batman. So she must have already been Batgirl.
That's what I'm kind of assuming from the pages.
Yeah. Well, you know what? A nice little narration or a nice little blurb in the beginning before she got shot would have been nice. Like to say, meanwhile, at Commissioner Gordon and Batgirl's house, or something to let the audience know that she is still Batgirl, that she's not just Barbara Gordon. I think that's the only complaint I have. That and the ending of the story are really the only complaints I have. Um, so we get to the amusement park where the Joker is basically torturing Gordon. Basically strips the poor guy naked, pretty much. Oh no, I remember. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Remembering's dangerous. I find the past such a worrying, anxious place. The past tense, I suppose you could call it. Ha 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 ha. What do you think of the art on his face in that panel?
He just looks like downright scary, almost like the
Yeah.
clown from It.
Kiss me, fat boy! Is the only thing I remember from that movie. Yeah, that's the only thing I remember from it. Um, so after this, we go back to the bar and grill where you have the gang kind of going over stuff, and they basically say, "Yes, yes, I get the picture," and they basically turn him into the Joker. Um, Again, I love the art in this. This is exactly the kind of art that I want to see from old Batman stories. Um, every panel is just absolutely amazing. And we get to the fact that he is torturing Gordon. I mean, because he didn't just kill her. He didn't kill her, but he didn't just shoot her and injure her for life at this point. He sat there after the fact and took a whole bunch of naked pictures of Barbara. And he is sitting here torturing Gordon with them, showing her father her naked pictures after she was shot. We all know that the Joker is a psychotic, murderous fuck, but this just takes it to a whole new level for me. Like, this is just, oh my god. And I really kind of wonder, and Steve's probably going to scoff at this, I really kind of wonder anyone who can really be a true fan of this character after reading this story.
Well, it depends on the iteration of the character.
Right, I understand that.
But he is just one sick bastard.
He is. Very much so.
I love that the poster that's hanging up says "Dangerous, do not approach."
Yeah, yeah. So Batman goes on the hunt for the Joker. And we have the use of the bat signal. And Batman gets a letter. Now, okay, I'm going to nitpick a little bit here. The Joker actually took the time out to make this little card that has the bat symbol on it, really? I'm not going to take away from it. Like I'm not going to I'm not going to lower my grade on this story or this trade just because of that, but I find that a little ironic that the Joker would take the time to artistly put the bat symbol plus his own face on the little white card. So he sends the little ticket to Batman, and once again, the art in this is absolutely fantastic. I really, really dig it. It almost reminds me of stuff of today. It really, really does. We get more flashbacks to the night that the guy who will be the Red Hood will then become the Joker. There, you still see okay, man? Well, yeah, I guess, except everything's red. It's kind of stuffy, too, and smells funny. Does my voice sound echoey to you? Now, what do you think of that panel where it's him looking out of the hood, and it looks like he sees two Jokers?
I don't really know what to think.
Because after he puts the hood on and you see that panel of the black background and the two eyelids, I thought that the two guys, oh, no wonder they look like Jokers through the eyelids because they're dressed up like Jokers. Okay. See, I thought they were just two regular guys, but they have the white paint on and green hair. So we've got the Red Hood bombing around. The police or the security guys come in, and all hell breaks loose, basically. Um, and then he falls into a pit of acid. And it's not a good thing. It's a very interesting transformation because you can see the beginnings and then you see that final kind of ha 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 page with him with his hands on his head, and man, is this Joker creepy as all hell.
Yeah, I've seen a picture with him holding his head with his gloves in him.
Yeah, it's really, really creepy. We go back to the present day, and the Joker is still torturing Gordon, and he's got all these other people in there with him. And we have an appearance of a bat-faced Batmobile. I gotta say, with this mod, I know this was still the 80s, I think. Wasn't this 86?
88.
88, okay. I know this was still the 80s, but I'm sorry. I don't like the bat-faced Batmobile in this. I wish there was something a little bit more modern. I wish maybe that the movie producers would have leaked the 89 Batmobile design to them to put in this. I don't know. It just doesn't look like a true Batmobile to me. I love Batman's design, though, because he kind of looks like the devil. Hello, I came to talk. Absolutely love that. And it's him and the Joker basically conversing, and then they basically get into a fight. The Joker sprays some stuff on him, and we have all this monologue, and the Joker gets away. Batman goes to free Commissioner Gordon. And we see that Batman versus the Joker is not over. What do you think of that that bottom panel there? God, you make me want to puke with Batman running away or running towards the Joker. What do you think of that silhouette?
I think it's kind of funny.
It's kind of awesome. The cape actually makes the Bat logo.
Well, it should.
Well, yeah, it should. What do you think of the story so far with Batman confronting the Joker?
Not bad. I mean, I like the fact that there's an origin story. It shows why he kind of lost it and why he joined up with the Red Hood gang to begin with. But it also shows that he's just lost his marbles.
Yeah. And I really do love that the Joker constantly tries to make Batman laugh in this. He is trying so hard. You know, it's like amateur comedy hour at a nightclub or something. Absolutely love it.
I love Batman's response, though, when he busts through the glass. When Joker asks him, "Why aren't you laughing?" "Because I've heard it before, and it wasn't funny the first time."
Yeah, and I love the images for the fight scene here. Absolutely amazing art. The two of them, as they're fighting, the designs, such classic designs on these characters. Absolutely love it. We even have a click, click, click gag. I was hoping it would have said bang, bang, bang. I really was. I don't mind that it's a gag, and I don't mind that he says, "God damn it, it's empty." I think that's kind of funny. But I just wish it would have said bang, bang, bang is all. And I know that's a little nitpick on my part. Did you not like the click, click, click gag?
Oh no, I liked it. That's actually something I would expect out of him in the games.
Mm-hmm.
I like when he says, "Why don't you kick the hell out of me and get a standing ovation from the public gallery?"
Yeah.
And then Batman
Um,
says, "Because I'm doing this one by the book, and because I don't want to."
mm-hmm. So then the Joker goes through and tells this one last joke. And so I'm actually going to read this panel by panel, folks, because this is one of the weirdest things for the ending, for me anyway. Um, there were these two guys in a lunatic asylum, and one night they decide they don't like living in an asylum anymore. They decide they're going to escape. So they get up onto the roof, and there, just across the yard, a gap, they see the rooftops of the town stretching away in the moonlight, stretching away to freedom. Now the first guy, he jumps right across with no problem, but his friend daren't make the leap. You see, he's afraid of falling. So the first guy has an idea. He says, "Hey, I have my flashlight with me. I'll shine it across the gap between the buildings so you can walk along the beam and join me." But the second guy just shakes his head. He says, "What do you think I am, crazy? You'd turn it off when I was halfway across." I I don't find this joke funny.
Neither did Batman.
Well, he did, because he said heh. He kind of laughed, and it shows him smiling. Um, so the Joker is laughing, and I guess Batman knocks him out because we see nothing but puddles of rain afterwards.
Well, actually, it's showing blood.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's what that red is with the rain.
See, I'm not seeing red. I'm just seeing.
It's like an orange.
Yeah, see, on mine it shows it as black. It doesn't show it as. I don't know. That's weird. Huh. Um, but okay, blood. And that's how the story ends. Um, and then you have a kind of like an afterword here from Brian Boland. And then you have what I assume is another. Yeah, right. You have a story from Brian Boland, which I believe is something completely separate from the Killing Joke. I would have to look and see what's actually in this. But the Joker is kind of right. One bad day. I don't think he's right in the sense of one bad day is going to set you off to lunacy the way it did him. Because something really, really horrific happened to him that day. But there are times where one bad day can really ruin someone's week or month or whichever you like. Overall, I absolutely love The Killing Joke. I love it even more now because of how they revived Barbara in the New 52. Now, I know a lot of people loved her as Oracle. I did too. But I like the fact that Gail Simone explained that she went to therapy, that she could actually get physically better to become Batgirl again. In the beginning, I believe it's either the 0 issue or the number 1 issue of the 2011 Batgirl ongoing. It does actually show the Joker in this style, this design, with the Hawaiian shirt. She was like, "I had one bad day once," and but The Killing Joke might be, for the old continuity, might be the best Batman story I've ever read at this point. It really might be.
I don't know if it's the best one I've ever read,
Mm-hmm.
but it's among the best ones.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with final thoughts and ratings after this.
A countdown of victims that will end at midnight, unless our dear Dark Knight stops me first. Hello, Gotham. Joker's back in town.
All right, folks, we are back here on the pull bag. What are you going to rate this one and give your kind of final thoughts overall on the writing and the art?
I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5 stars, just because I like the backstory. I like how they explained why he kind of went into the Red Hood gang to do this job, to get money, because he didn't have a job and he was trying to provide for his wife and his unborn child. And then the things that kind of pushed him when they died. And he decided he didn't want to do it, but they're like, nope, you're doing it. And, the whole aspect of Batman. So, I mean, he's had just a shitty life.
Yeah.
And it explains that perfectly. But you also have, the pure evil of this guy now that he's the Joker to bounce off of. So, I mean, it's overall pretty good. I mean, again, it's not one of my favorites, but it's definitely very well written.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Like I said, the writing, the art, all of it together in one package. Sure, I had those little nitpicks, but I'm not gonna take points off just for nitpicks. And they were so trivial at that. For me, I think I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 perfect. I really, with some of the other Bat stuff we've done, or that we will do, there are times where, as I'm reading them, I find myself having to stop after a certain chapter is over and then put it down and come back to it later. I read this in one sitting. I actually read this twice. It was so good. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Coming up on the pull bag next time around, Steve and I will be back when we talk about A Death in the Family. So where can the people find you online, sir?
SCP-21.
I am also on Twitter at TFG1Mike. You can also follow at Geekcast Radio for all the other network updates. Make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next time.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pull Bag, the GCRN's comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you're leaving the message for and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Send us an email feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at geekcastradio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.